So before you start doing the commissioning, it's always good to go through your wires and make sure that they all have an acceptable resistance. There's circuitry inside the wire set that goes on the negative harness, and that circuitry can sometimes be bad. So measuring your resistance on the wires will tell us what connections are good and if any connections are bad. So I'm going to start on the positive side of cell number 1. I've got a alligator clamp connected to the terminal. So before you start checking this, you want to know what your resistance is just between your two leads. So we're starting at about 3 to 4 tenths of an ohm. So then when we come to check our black gray cased wires or wire, we're seeing about 4 to 5 tenths. So we're right at 0 on that connection. With our red wire, we're at 3 tenths, and then the black wire, we're at 2 tenths. So those connections are all good. The next thing to do is move your lead to the negative side of that same cell, and then we're going to check the black cased wires. So on this one, our black wire is 3 tenths of an ohm. Our blue wire is at 10.74 kilo ohms. So that is good. Your blue wire has a thermistor on it, so it'll range between 9 and 13 thousand ohms, just depending on what the temperature is where you're actually installing the batteries. And then your gray wire in the black sleeve is 3 tenths, so that one is good also. So we can run through the entire battery here and take those measurements, and that will tell us if any connections need to be replaced. So the next one here is the gray. So we're at 4 tenths, 4 tenths, and 3 tenths. And again, we were starting at about 3 tenths, so we're good with those. And we can move over to the negative side. Check our black case wires. 3 tenths, 11.29 thousand ohms, and then 3 tenths. So that harness, or that wire harness set, should be good. Three tenths, 3 tenths, and 3 tenths of an ohm. All right. 3 tenths, 11.37 thousand ohms, and 3 tenths. And then three tenths, 3 tenths, and 3 tenths of an ohm. We've got 3 tenths, 11.41 thousand ohms, and 3 tenths again. Then we get into the connection here. So this one, you've got to follow where the wires are at. So your black and red wire is on this connection. The gray wire here comes back over here. So we can check our black and red wire. We've got 3 tenths and 3 tenths, but then to check the gray wire, we've got to come back over here to get an accurate reading, and 3/10. Then we could check our black cased wires off the cable clamp here. We should have 3/10, 11.01 thousand ohms. And this one we're getting 1.7 ohms. So we're going to need to tighten this up a little bit to get a good cable resistance when we commission. So one way you can tighten this and make sure that it's good is if you've got an alligator clamp, you can put it on the connection there. You can hold your other lead into the connection that's bad and see where it's at. So right now it's fluctuating between 1.5 and 1.6 ohms. We can tighten this up a little bit. Until we get it dialed into that 3 to 5/10 of an ohm.